the Sci-Fi Invasion, where I, your host, Joey Hollywood, tries to get through all 50 movies in this 50 movie box set from Mill Creek. Today's movie was called Gypsy Moon from 1954. When I saw the title of this movie, I initially thought it was going to be a werewolf flick. Stands to reason. But I was actually pleasantly surprised to see, sorry, Quentin's distracting me. I was pleasantly surprised to see that it was a Rocky Jones movie. Now, this probably doesn't mean much to most people, understandably, but when I was a kid, I really liked Rocky Jones. I had him on VHS tapes. I haven't seen them all, but it was an old science fiction TV show that movies like this were edited from. They basically put together 3 random episodes or 3-part episodes together, and they would make a makeshift movie. It was really common back when I was a kid. I think it was common up until the mid-2000s. I don't think they do that anymore. They did a lot with cartoons, but I really liked Rocky Jones, and it's said that Rocky Jones himself was the inspiration for Captain Kirk. I've actually attempted to source this, but I can't find anything. The only sources I can find are the backs of Rocky Jones DVDs. There's no proof of this. This is not actually related to this movie. This is just something I've done in my own time before I watched this. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I like Rocky Jones a lot. The characters in it, there's a Rocky Jones who's a Captain Kirk type character. He's got a sidekick named Winky, who he's your standard Robin sidekick from this time period. And then there's also a little kid who's super smart, and then there's a girl character who's always getting in trouble, and then there's an old man professor who's eccentric and wacky. And it's not really a big deal in this particular movie, although towards the end it happens, but there is a main villain who's this evil princess or queen. It's been a while, I can't remember. This one specifically deals with 2 warring factions. There are 2 moons in this field. They call them Gypsy moons. I forget the reason why. It's a really brief line of dialogue. I think the reason why they call it Gypsy Moon is just that's a fun title. But I think towards the beginning, I think my favorite line in this was Rocky Jones goes, "All right, everybody strap in." And then everyone jumps onto their futons and puts these belts on. It's really silly. I think the reason why I liked Rocky Jones so much as a kid and even now is the special effects are very quaint. They're very cute, and they have a lot of charm to them. Rocky Jones and all these wacky characters have a lot of charm to them as well. I think that's why I gravitated more towards Rocky Jones than the more popular Flash Gordon or Captain Video, any of those guys. Rocky Jones just seemed more fun. It was more lighthearted. It dealt more with morality situations. This is a perfect example because the Gypsy Moon there's 2 warring factions, and if I remember correctly, the warring factions are named after the negative and positive sides of neutrons. It's been a while since I took high school science, but I forgot those names, but they're derivative of those names. And Rocky Jones has to broker peace with them. And really, to be honest, this would make a great little science fiction thing if it was maybe 45 minutes. I think you could tell the story in 45 minutes and it would be great. Star Trek has done that many a times, but this is it's an hour and 14. It's a feature. The first 2 feel very much connected. The first 2 episodes feel very much connected. It's basically a 2-parter. And the 3rd one is vaguely connected to the other ones because it's dealing with the aftermath of the first 2 episodes. But it really feels like its own thing. And that's when I started to fall off. My attention span started to go off in other dimensions. Sorry, Quentin is just very needy right now. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. I don't know. It's fun. The warring factions, they try to steal Rocky Jones' spaceship because he refuses to bomb the other side of the planet, and it's really alleged that these aliens are more advanced than the human race. But then if that's the case, why do they need Rocky Jones to bomb the other side? It doesn't make much sense. And then there's a point where they try to give them the spaceship, and they go on this long thing about the Iliad and the Odyssey, how they're going to use Rocky Jones' spaceship as a Trojan horse. And it's all incredibly silly, but it's very, very fun, and I enjoyed it. It was a blast from the past, not just because it's, almost 100 years old, but because I watched these a lot as a kid, and I really want to make a video about the entirety of Rocky Jones at some point, because no one will watch it, and I will just get a kick out of finding a reason to revisit these. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I definitely would recommend this one. Like, there's a lot of goofy elements in it where, like, their universal translator is them talking into, like, a microphone, and it just prints out, like, a long stream, like those old news reporting things, like when, I forget what they're called, but they would get, like, information from across the globe, and it would come on this little thin strip of paper. That's their universal translator. It's just, at the time, modern technology. It's a lot of fun. This is episode 25 of this, so we're literally halfway done. And thank you for watching. I'm Joey Hollywood. I'll see you next time. Remember, please be kind and rewind.